Hi, I'm Lauren Sapala. I'm releasing a new video course, How to Launch an Online Creative Business, in just the next couple of days. I'm making this video series. This is video 3 in the series. If you haven't seen the first 2, I do urge you to go back on YouTube, go back in your newsletters, watch the first 2 first because it's part of a whole series. But I'm answering some of the top questions I've been getting about the course. The first video I did was called How to Find Your Creative Niche. It's easier than you think. And the second video I did was how to coach others when you yourself are still an aspiring creative. That's another big question I get. Today's video, I'm going to talk about more of a broad issue that intuitives and creatives tend to bring to me when they're thinking about launching their own online creative business. But first I want to say thank you so much, all of you who have sent me emails. I've gotten so many emails since I started doing sort of the pre-launch for this course. You guys have sent me questions, encouragement. You've said you're so excited, you're definitely in. A lot of you have said this is synchronicity, like you just got laid off from a job, or you're thinking of leaving your job, or now that you've been working from home, you see how much you really hate your job. But these sorts of thoughts have already been brewing in you. And so this is coming at the perfect time. And I love it whenever anybody says, hey, this is synchronicity. I'm like, thank you so much, because it means I'm on the right track with stuff. So, okay, I also want to say this course it's a little bit different. It is a business course. There's a lot of nuts and bolts stuff in it about online business, obviously, but it's really designed for INFJ and INFP people, even though anyone can use it. It's designed for writers who want to be coaches and coaches who want to be writers. Anyone who wants to add in multiple streams of income into their life. Maybe you're not thinking about leaving your day job at all, but you want to add something in on the side. This is good for that. Or maybe you want to leave your day job completely and you want to shift into self-employment. This is good for that. The course covers a broad range of material. It covers blogging, social media, writing a self-help book, starting to coach, growing your email list, mindset, fear obstacles. There's a lot of material in this course. So you can be a lot of different people in a lot of different walks of life, and the course can still be a really great fit for you. I've actually been running my own business now for over 7 years. It is now my sole thing. I am the only person in my household who brings in income, and I support my husband and me and my little boy and our cat. It can be done. I've said this in other videos, but I really want to re-emphasize it because it's important. I think so much of the time we get stuck on that of like, well, if I work for myself, I'm not going to make any money. It's absolutely not true. You can make money by working for yourself, and you don't have to like be part of some weird, pyramid scheme or do like some weird sleazy sales tactics. You can just be you, do the stuff you want to do and that you feel good about and still make money. That's a possibility in this universe. So I want to put that out there. Okay, so the last top question I've been getting from intuitive people about this course and about business overall. So many of you are worried about what kind of business strategy do you need to have? And the question basically comes down to, do I need a solid business strategy before I begin, or can I just wing it? And I was laughing because actually a few people verbatim use the term wing it. Can I just wing it? And they were all INFPs. And I just really had to laugh because INFPs, I know they have this reputation for being like whimsical and, going with the flow. But they really are able to fly and able to soar through creative heights, if you will, like better than maybe any other type. Like the INFPs really can be likened to birds, where they can just like take off at a moment's notice, start something new, take off of their perch, and not be scared of like, now I'm in the sky, what am I doing? So it was really fun that I got that question from so many INFPs, and I wanted to answer it today. So the answer is surprising. All across the internet, all across the business world, you will always hear, you need a business model, you need a business plan, you better sit down and map this thing out. That's a really smart idea. You need a solid business strategy before you begin. For intuitive people, I would say this is actually not the case. You do not need a solid business strategy before you begin. And in fact, you're going to do better without one. So I just want that to sink in. Not only do you not need a solid business strategy, you are going to do better without one. So number one, I'm saying this from my own personal experience. If you've watched the other videos, I started out as a blogger, blogging about writing. That was it. That was all I did. I didn't have a business plan in mind. I made things up as I went, and I followed my gut as time went on. And I really listened to what I was pulled toward, what I was pushed away from, and I really went with that. So the thing with intuitive people, there's a few main reasons why we do better without a business strategy. I'm going to cover the main three. So number one, our intuition is our strength. We forget that so much of the time. Intuitive people, we usually know we're intuitive, but we live in a world that's very non-intuitive, especially if you live in the United States. The United States is very rational. It's very left-brained, very logical. Many of us grew up in rational, left-brain, logical families where our intuition was not valued. If we, we're in an intuitive family, we then went to school where the programming is all rational. So we quickly learned to hide our intuitive side when we were growing up and as young adults. And we carry that through our adult years of like, oh, this is weird, or I'm weird. I need to hide this part of myself. I need to be responsible. I need to give forth the impression that I have this level head and that I'm sensible. That's like a big thing for intuitive people. A big wound is that a lot of people have called us flaky, or that we have our head in the clouds, or we're not responsible enough. So we really push back against that. And we want to give this impression of like, I've got it all under control. In fact, our intuition is our strength. Intuition works in the moment. Sometimes you will get intuitions about something that's going to happen in a year or in 5 years. I'm a very intuitive person myself. I've gotten those flashes throughout my life. Those are not the most often intuitive hits you're going to get, though. Usually, intuition works in the moment because it is really just sort of evaluating the energy of what's going on right now. So all the relationships involved, all the emotions involved, all of the possible future outcomes involved, and then it's sort of giving you information based on those variables, all of which could change. So intuition really thrives in the moment, but because we live in sort of this lockdown controlled culture, that's hard for us to surrender to. We want to control, and we feel really uncertain with intuition, even if we are at the core intuitive people. So that's number one. Your intuition is your strength. Let yourself use it in the moment. Your business will change day to day. Let your intuition tell you where to go next. Number two, we are highly creative. If you're an intuitive person, you're highly creative, and you know that. Even if you're not creating stuff right now, or you've experienced some blocks, or maybe some sort of analysis paralysis where you've been stuck in one spot for a long time, sort of overthinking all the options, you're still highly creative. You still know that. When you have creativity, especially when you have high creativity, creativity as an energy, it needs a lot of room. It needs a lot of space and a lot of freedom because it wants to form itself in all different patterns and ways and possibilities. It sort of wants to form and collapse, form and collapse. That's what creativity does. It's very dynamic. It's a very dynamic energy. When you put too much structure around it, it starts to fizzle out because you're not giving it enough room. It's like fire. Like fire needs a lot of oxygen to keep burning. Once you start to sort of dampen down a fire, put like a towel over it or put it in an enclosed space, that flame starts to get smaller and smaller. It doesn't have the air it needs to breathe. So creativity is like the fire, and then the room and the space you give it, the instability, is the air that really fuels it. So your high creativity is going to be one of your biggest advantages in business because you're going to think of things no one else has thought of. You're going to connect dots in ways no one else has connected them until this point. You really, really, really want to keep a very nice environment going for your creativity. If you have this solid business strategy that's all mapped out that you're very attached to, you're not going to give creativity the room it needs. Number three, this one is kind of hard for intuitives because so many of us are actually control freaks. And that's a conversation for another video, but because a lot of us have experienced trauma or alienation due to our intuitive abilities, we tend to be a little closed off at times, and we tend to think that we're not risk takers. We like our routines, we like being in control. Now that's true, but at the same time, we are born risk takers. We really thrive on being challenged because we really love personal growth. Every intuitive person I've ever met is heavily into personal growth. We want life experiences that will push us to grow and evolve. If we're in any line of work for too long and there's not enough challenge, there's not enough risk, there's not enough growth, we get bored, we move on. We can't stick around. We just can't. So if you pick, an area for your business that seems very safe, and like you'll always have clients, but you're just kind of neutral about it, you're not really passionate, and then you have this solid business strategy that also seems very safe and that everyone says is a great idea, and your Aunt Sally and your Uncle Mike say, yeah, this is very rational, perfect, and logical, you'll feel good about that at the time, and then quickly you're going to lose interest in your business and not want to be there anymore because you're going to get bored. There's not enough risk, there's not enough growth for you. So to sort of bring all of this together, if you're an intuitive person, if you're an INFJ, if you're an INFP, you have a whole basket of certain qualities that feel really out of place in our society, but that are an integral part of you. So you might think of yourself as weird, eccentric, dark, creative, alternative, emotional, heart-centered, mystical. Like you've always had one foot in this world and one foot in another world, passionate, rebellious. These are the traits that make up you. And as I'm going down the list, some of them are really going to hit and some of them aren't. But I know if you're an intuitive person, more than a few on that list are going to really hit you. Like, oh yeah, I am really dark and twisted, or I am really rebellious, or like I am kind of this mystic and I talk to the angels. And is that weird? Like, whatever the traits are, at the end of it, we always end up asking like, is that weird? But I've always been that way, but I've always done that, and I can't really help it, and it's part of me, but it makes me feel so weird. You launching your own online creative business, especially in the years to come, when everything is going to be changing so much, the entire planet is changing, you need to bring all of those traits with you. You need to bring them into the business with you, not suppress them, not try to do the business the way everyone else says that you should do it. And that's how my course is a little bit different too, because I say multiple points throughout the course, if this doesn't work for you, don't do it. If you need to tweak this, tweak it. The way the course is designed, it's the big pieces of the business, but you can rearrange those pieces any way you want. My personal story looked like blogging, then coaching, then publishing a book, then more coaching, then teaching classes. It might not look that way for you, and that's perfectly fine. Your way might look like publishing a book first, then blogging, then coaching, who knows? But you have to do what's right for you because you are highly intuitive, highly creative, usually, very mystical, very interested in serving humanity. You're here for a purpose. If you're an INFJ or an INFP, that really means something to you. You want work with meaning. That's why you're here. You're not launching an online business because you just want to make money, even though the money would be nice, to be free of financial struggle would be nice for anyone, of course. But at the root of it, that's not why we do it. So this course is a little bit different from the norm. It's really do it at your own pace, do it in a way that feels right for you. Please stop and connect to your heart at multiple points along the journey. See if this still is right for you, if it still sits well with you. If not, fall away from it naturally. That's okay. If so, keep going. But it is a little bit of a different course in that way. I'll talk a little bit more about the pieces of the course and how they all work when I release it in just 2 days. So that's the other thing. I'm releasing the course in 2 days. It will be at a deep discount for the 5 days of the launch. So I'm releasing it on May 28th. So May 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st, June 1st, it will be at a deep discount. So if you really want the discount, you're in, please sign up for my newsletter. The link is below in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on my blog, the link is below in the blog post. It says Lauren's newsletter. Please sign up. You get a free book if you sign up for my newsletter, Firefly Magic, Heart-Powered Marketing for Highly Sensitive Writers. It's all about marketing. If you're an author or if you're another sort of creative person, it can work for you too. But yeah, you get a free book and then you'll get all the updates on the course and you won't miss the discount. So please sign up for my newsletter. Keep an eye on your inbox. In just 2 days, I will be making the announcement, and hopefully all of you out there who have finally thought, you know, this is my time. This is when I'm really ready to do this. This is going to be it. Okay, I'll see you guys in 2 days. I'm so excited and thank you so much.